Welcome. This week we're going to go over part 2 for Project 3. So we're on the Project 3 instructions page. I'm going to scroll down to Project 3 instructions and rubric. When I click on that page and scroll down to the directions, which is where we'll start, I want to go down to part 2, the SEL action plan. And so when you read the directions, it says, based on your evaluation in part 1, you will define the specific method you use with the class to model social and emotional awareness and promote the development of the SEL competencies you identified as important for this class. So this part goes back, you have to tie in your part 1 to your part 2. It's focused on the course or class that you teach now or that you've most recently been associated with. And there are 4 specific items that you need to address in your response. The first is that you need to explain how you can model social and emotional awareness and sensitivity in the online format. When you see the words explain, describe, analyze, each of those words signals that you will need APA formatted citations to go along with that section in order to receive credit. You can't just write a narrative of your own personal experiences or the things that you think might be true. You have to base it on factual data and information, which comes in the formation of citations to credible resources. The other piece that you need to do is that you need to describe at least 2 ways you will demonstrate and create social connections with students. For example, you could connect with each student individually during the lesson to provide feedback. You could provide different types of connections. So it's going to be different based on your individual unique situation. Again, with describe, you'll need citations. Next, you're going to describe at least 2 specific ways you will encourage collaboration and teamwork during this lesson. And so with this, one of the examples is it says to further explain your own words how collaboration and teamwork foster a student's social and emotional growth. Again, both those with describe and explain. This is more than just you writing a narrative. This has to have citations to credible resources. There's plenty of those that we've already gone over in the Unit 3 resources, but you might have to go out to the library and find some other resources. Finally, it says describe at least 2 active learning types of activities you will include in your lesson to help students build the SEL competencies you will identify in part 1. In that, you should include a description of which competencies each learning activity supports and how. You should explain how the learning activities are purposeful and sequenced to foster student SEL competency development, and you need to explain how each activity reflects active learning by allowing students to learn by doing. So when you go through, you are going to set up your part 2 with 4 subheadings that address each of the 4 bullets. And so the first one is modeling social and emotional awareness. The second one is demonstrate social connections. The third one would be collaboration and teamwork plan. And the fourth one would be active learning activities. Again, you might need to go and explore the Southern New Hampshire Library. If I go up to the top, Shapiro Library is accessible through each course. Just click on the link. I can type in social emotional learning. From there, I can review the results to see there's some information on using feature engineering from online environments to observe social and emotional skills and academic performance. Maybe there's some information you can pull from there. There's a few articles that deal with social emotional learning to start out with, so you would want to look at a few of those, review those, and cite those in your response. So in order to get credit for part 2, you're going to have to answer the questions, but you're going to have to do so and use citations to guide your response, not just writing from personal experience. So as always, if you have any questions while you're working on this part, please reach out to me, c.smith9@snhu.edu. And I'm looking forward to seeing your project submissions.